Welcome back to another episode of the Legit Day Job Podcast. I am Cody,
I'm Sean.
And I'm Kay.
and this is our Legit Day Job.
This is what we do every day for a living.
This is episode 6 now, day 6 of Toho-thon.
Mm-hmm.
Today,
Our 12th and 13th movies.
is it?
It is. I did the math.
All right. Today we watched Mothra and Mothra versus Godzilla. Let's just get right into it.
Let's just get into it.
So Mothra, the general plot recap, it's basically King Kong, only instead of King Kong, it's a giant moth. That's about it. That's the general plot recap. It's pretty much exactly beat for beat King Kong, the general plot recap.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
Except it starts out as like a larva and then evolves
Like I
into
said,
a moth.
basically King Kong, only instead of King Kong, it's a butterfly.
A
Yeah.
moth, but sure.
Yeah, pretty much you got the native people
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Group of people go to an island. Island has a bunch of natives. Wow, shocker. It's only like the 12th time that's happened in this franchise.
It's like Japan just has a whole bunch of islands they know nothing about that have natives they have no idea
Yeah.
exist. And then,
They
oops,
kidnap
giant monsters too. Also, everywhere is like irradiated.
They kidnap the island babes. And
The two tiny, like-
and then the monster gets angry and gets pissed off and flies over to Japan to cause a giant shitstorm until it goes back to the island babes. That's the plot recap. What'd you guys think of Mothra? It's a pretty simple plot.
Yeah, it was a pretty simple plot. I kind of liked it though. I mean, it seemed. The only King Kong I've seen was the Peter Jackson one. Like in its entirety. I haven't seen like the other like originals, but like obviously the same thing. But I kind of like this one because I thought it was it felt like a blatant ripoff, but it also kind of had a little charm to it. And I liked a lot of the like Mothra effects, like the costume and the big old like when it gets in its like cocoon and everything. I kind of like that and all that. So, and how the two little island babes were like tiny, and how they actually like got away with like like superimposing them as like tiny little beings or whatever, right?
Yeah, the compositing in this one definitely is among the better of the early ones.
Yeah.
Because everything pretty much looked right.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything that stood out. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that they added in better aerial shots so that you could see like scale of how big the larva is when it's like traveling across.
Yeah, the cinematography
Grass.
is really, really well
A lot
done in this
better.
one.
Yeah, that was smart because it's a larva, so like the only way you're gonna get a real good view perspective wise is like
from
showing
above.
you, in length it's like 4 city blocks.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able
Um,
to tell if it was like eye level
Yeah,
or
yeah,
anything.
exactly. If you
It's
were
just a
looking,
worm on the ground.
yeah, you could look up at it and go, wow, that's big, but like not really get a for like lengthwise just because it's like that. Whereas
Mhm.
Godzilla's like, I don't necessarily care how far it is from like the tip of his toe to like the end of his tail. I care
Mhm.
about like how damn tall he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they were smart about that. And yeah,
I have it written down that it's the best integration of the human drama with the monster action. I don't know how much credit I can give the movie though, since it's basically a ripoff of King Kong.
okay, well, hang on, let's think
I'll
about.
give it credit where credit's due. It certainly has it's the first of these films to kind of flip the genre on itself in the
Mhm.
sense that the monster isn't just a monster.
Yeah.
And the characters are likable in itself. However, again, I don't know how much I can credit the script itself as opposed to the clear inspiration for the script.
Well, okay. How about like A New Hope? Because that was a blatant ripoff of The Hidden Fortress, and they just changed character names and like
That's also completely
the
different,
genre.
though.
No. But I mean, but it is a very much like such a ripoff, like almost shot for shot. Like
The iconic part of Star Wars isn't necessarily the plot.
no, I know.
The
But
iconic part of Star Wars is the special effects.
no, I know. But
And the hero's journey.
no, I know. But I'm saying this.
Doesn't apply here.
What do you mean? How so?
This one, the whole point is the plot. It's not a hero's journey. It's a monster movie that's basically beat for beat King Kong.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just
point.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't know how much credit I can give this film
you can't
for
give it
the
like
plot.
a ton of originality points or anything. Yeah. Okay. No, I'll give you that. Yeah. Because Star Wars definitely took that story, but like made it completely original. So
I mean, I do like that they have like one main bad guy, and it made me glad that he finally died. He was such a
Oh yeah. Oh, I have
selfish
that as a note.
fool.
he got shot. Did he not? Or am I thinking of the second?
Yeah,
one?
he got shot.
Is that the first movie? Or am I thinking of the second movie?
Oh.
No, it's the first movie.
He got he got shot.
They both got shot in both films.
Oh, because I thought he got shot and then like, oh no, I'm thinking of the second movie. Somebody got shot and then like the building, Godzilla showed up and the building collapsed and killed the guy who shot the other guy.
Wait, what?
Anyway,
Even Cody's
I'm
blanking.
so lost.
We're gonna get.
No,
there,
I know
but
what you're talking
wait,
about.
I'm thinking of the
One
second
guy
movie. My
He
bad.
shot the other guy, and they all
Yeah,
died.
sorry. I'm thinking of the second one. My bad. That's what you get for watching like direct sequels, right? Back to back. But whatever.
Yeah,
We haven't done that actually.
the guy-
we haven't done a direct sequel back to back before here.
Not yet.
Because I mean, this is the first time we've watched like
I also might
an
have been-
original quote unquote and then a direct sequel, right? Because everything we've done before is like, okay, two versions of the first Godzilla, 2 of the second, 3 spin-offs nobody knows anything about. And then like I think 2 more spin-offs.
Yep.
And then we get back to Godzilla, but it was like again 2 versions of the third one in the series. So it was like, this is the first time we've seen one and then immediately gone to the sequel, which I thought was actually kind of cool. I like that. It's like binging.
I also might have been slightly incorrect. This may not actually be a direct sequel to the original Mothra.
It had like a whole bunch of the same cast, did it not? Or am I mistaken?
Yeah, see that's why I was mistaken too. Turns out they're not the same characters. They're just the same cast.
I had a feeling because it didn't seem like they were the same
Yeah,
character.
Who the fuck would do
seemed,
that?
'Cause, like,
it seemed off.
The photographer girl like was a newbie in the second one. I mean,
Yeah,
the first one she knows what she's doing.
yeah.
And
Okay, well, the only
this-
returning characters then would be
There are no returning characters.
There are the Peanuts, played by the same actresses.
Oh, well, yeah.
Peanuts.
No, that's what
What
they're
were
called.
the-
They were
Oh.
a band.
The
Emmy
twins.
and Yumi something. Ito, I think was their last name. They were like 20 when they did the first one, and then like 23 in the second one. But they play the same. Obviously,
Oh,
they
you
play
mean-
the same. They're the same twins in both, and the characters don't change. But like, yeah, I guess everybody else does.
They return for the role, but they are not necessarily the same characters as the original Mothra. Just like this Mothra isn't necessarily the same Mothra.
yeah,
That's what I was talking about. The Showa era, they all technically exist in the same continuity, but it's not the kind of continuity that you're familiar with. They neither retcon nor acknowledge any other film in the entire era, like the
They
whole
just-
Showa line.
They just make movies to.
Yeah,
make
it's
movies.
just another episode, basically.
But like, it's kind of like SpongeBob. Like, just pretends nothing else happened prior to this. Like,
Basically, yeah. It's-
SpongeBob could end on a horrible note, like where they're lost in the kelp forest and can never get out, and the magic conch tells everyone, do nothing, and they do. And then it cuts to black and rolls credits. The very next episode, that never happened. Everything's okay. They're back in their pineapple and rock and tiki.
That's basically the Showa era. Yeah.
Basic.
Um,
The Showa era is the SpongeBob era of Godzilla films.
The the thing I loved the most was let's see if I believe I wrote it down correctly. God forsake me, however, because I don't know if I'll be able to pronounce it correctly. The Rolisica, whatever
that country, right?
the fictitious country in Mothra, which is so blatantly obvious the United States of America.
Oh yeah, New Kirk City. I just remember that one.
Yeah,
I was thinking Russia.
it's a mold of it's both of them. It's a hybrid of the United States, like officially it's a hybrid, not in universe, but like during production. Yeah, it's a hybrid of the U.S. and the Soviet Union.
Yeah, the U.S. and the USSR.
But far more on the U.S. side, considering, yeah, I mean you got New Kirk City, which is painfully obviously New York,
Yeah, I was thinking.
right down to the architecture. It's like they just
You got like the bridges and
photoed
everything.
the skyline and just made that into a city.
Which is why it's funny that like it's also kind of a ripoff of King Kong because King Kong shows up in NYC, you know. But then Mothra goes to NKC.
and then on top of that, like all of the I don't know, Riliskins, however you pronounce that fictitious nation.
Honestly, I don't even know how to pronounce half.
They're
the shit
all
we're
they're
listening
all
to.
American and they all speak English in the film. And there's so many of them in the movie, just at the
Yeah, I
most
remember.
random times too. You'll just in the most unnecessary scene, just a white guy in the background go, yeah, like during conversation. It makes no sense. And naturally they're all evil, like mustache twirling cartoon villains, kind of evil, because naturally it's the devil speaking Americans who kidnap the Japanese natives and exploit them for money and refuse to give them back no matter what.
I don't think we did that historically.
I mean, it's
No, I lied. We did. After the gold rush, we actually no, I'm sorry, that wasn't Japanese. Those are Chinese. we would take Chinese Chinese slaves and sell them into prostitution on the West Coast.
Wasn't there like a president, Nelson? Is that why the bad guy?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think of that one.
I thought of
Did we
that
have a
during-
President Nelson?
I don't know, but
Or
I don't think we ever did have a Nelson as a president. He
Oh, no,
sounds
it-
too. It sounds like
I mean, either
not-
way.
it sounds
or was
like
it Nixon?
too
I
casual.
don't know.
Oh, it definitely was Nixon,
Okay.
but no, they're definitely.
It's
Not at this
similar.
point. Kennedy was the president when this came out.
What is? I mean, what did this take place? Like,
Well, it doesn't matter if it
forget-
took place, but
I forget at what point, if at any point, these films, like, I'm assuming these films are like the Marvel movies where
they just kind of take place in present day.
yeah, like whenever they happen to release is the context of the.
Except Varen the Unbelievable, because that took place in like the 80s.
Yeah.
But other than that,
was
yeah,
the
I don't
one
think they've
outlier.
ever said like it doesn't take place today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Either way, yeah, the main villain's name is Nelson, just the most the most white name.
but isn't he like an Asian guy? Am I thinking of the
I
right
don't
guy?
know.
I think he is. I think he's played by an Asian guy.
I mean, I'm sure he is, but he doesn't like.
Look it up.
He looks foreign, like you know, amongst all the the Japanese cast. He looks different.
Mm-hmm.
He's clearly not American though, although he does again start speaking English at random times, which is even more jarring than usual.
Okay, Mothra. Here you go. Cast. We're looking at Nelson, right?
Yes.
Clark Nelson is his name.
Oof.
He's played by Jerry Ito. I don't have a photo, but Jerry Ito was born in 1927 in New York City.
What?
And he died.
What?
And he died in 2007 in LA.
He was born in New York. He's actually American.
He was a Japanese American film and television actor,
Oh, all right.
born as Gerald Tamekichi Ito, specializing in Japanese films throughout the 50s, 60s, and 70s. He was a cousin of Japanese American composer Teiji Ito. I don't know if that's important, but I think this was the only. Let's see. Oh, by the way, Mothra is like Toho's second most popular kaiju character after Godzilla.
Yes.
I think this is Jerry Ito's only, his only appearance in a Toho monster film. We're probably not going to watch these, but he was also in 58's Japanese American co-production of The Manster.
Nope.
And in Toho's 61 End of the World feature, The Last War.
Also not on our list.
His name in the credits of the U.S. release is transliterated as Jelly Ito.
Ah, yes.
Poor,
right up there with
poor bastard.
and
Inoshiro Honda.
thank you. Yeah, Inoshiro Honda. Good old translations.
The Americans are just giving a big old fuck you to the Japanese cast because they're like, we don't care how you actually say it. We'll just put down whatever we think it is.
I also noticed that in the third act, it also kind of out of nowhere just started like heavily implying religious undertones.
Oh, at the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they moved like countries, right?
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
didn't take place in Japan after that.
Well, no, not that specifically. I mean, yeah, the third act takes place in what not New York.
Not New York. New Kirk City.
No, at the very end when they like make the realization of what Mothra's symbol is.
Oh yeah.
When
okay,
they
yeah,
look up
that's
at the colossal church in not New York City, and they see the cross with the sun like blazing behind it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, hey, it's Mothra's symbol. Hey, the bells of the church kind of sound like their telepathy. It has like
yeah, they're the little twins song for Mothra is like,
Are you gonna sing for us?
no, God no, it's really catchy.
Your viewers want you to sing.
No, they do not. Our listeners definitely don't want that. Just think
your
about
viewers, your listeners.
Think about all the poor little children with headphones on right now who are listening to our wretched voices and then having me shatter glass and their eardrums. That's not okay. I feel like we'd get sued. And we don't have any money, obviously, because we do this basically for free.
Oh yeah, we're on a glass table, so you might shatter that.
There goes the computer and our microphones and probably our legs. Like, yeah, no, that's a negator. Although on the plus side, there are no windows in this room. We're in our cell.
Yeah. We do this against our will.
Yeah.
That's about all the viewing notes I have. Is there anything else you guys want to say about it?
No, that's about it for me.
I already mentioned the special effects. The soundtrack didn't stand out to me. I don't remember much of the soundtrack. Like, it wasn't super, except of course, the little twins song, and I'm like ready to blow my brains out to get rid of that. But yeah, it's what the hell is that?
Someone's dragging.
For a second I thought it was
dragging a body outside in the hallway.
Oh god. For about 10 seconds, because it sounds like something's dragging across the carpet, but for about 10 seconds, I was like, the AC actually works now. And then I was like, wait, no, it's probably just the rain. And then I remembered it's not raining outside.
The rain.
Well, no, but then I remembered it's not raining outside. And I'm like,
it's pretty sunny out there.
Yeah.
Plus, apparently we won't hear rain, even if it did come down hard on us. Because like,
we've heard rain plenty of times.
In this room?
Yeah. Never heard it before?
No, I haven't. I thought I did, and then you guys are like, "Nope, that's not rain." And I'm like, "Okay, well."
I'm pretty sure we've heard rain in this room before.
Anyways, yeah, we basically are in a cardboard box in the building. Like, that's our walls are paper.
We're in our dungeon. They're dragging in the next batch of prisoners.
The
reason why the music doesn't sound you don't remember it too much is because it's not by Akira Ifukube.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Different composer for this one. Although again, credit where credit is due. While the soundtrack, I don't remember much of it. He did. I'm assuming at least. I'm not 100% sure. I'm assuming he also is credited as the guy who made the fairy melodies.
Are we 100% sure about everything?
Yes.
Anything?
Just not that.
Everything but that. Everything. Definitely very confident in.
100% confident in everything but this one point of contention.
We would bet our miserable slave lives on it.
I don't know who technically is credited for creating the melodies, which are also iconic at this point.
I mean, it might actually be the Peanuts, the twins. That was their real life band. They actually were a thing until like one of them got married. Yeah, they might have actually come up with it. You never know. But who knows?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's about all I got on it.
All joking aside, I really do enjoy the film.
But yeah, no, it wasn't a bad film at all. Like by any means, I thought it was.
What would you rate it?
It was nice.
Pacing is well done. The special effects are amazing.
What would I rate it?
Yeah.
Like score it?
Score. Rate it. Score.
I was like, I'd probably have to rate it like PG-13, but I don't know.
No, it's R.
What rating would you give the film?
Oh, let's see. There was sensuality, language throughout, gruesome violence. No, I would give it I don't know, probably a 7. I'm gonna say 7 out of 10. How about you, Kay?
Same as me. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right, hell yeah.
I wrote this before, and
that was kind of a weak high five. Let's do that again.
Let's
I wasn't
not
paying
blow out the
attention.
speakers.
There, now they know we have
I rated M for mature Mothras only.
So no larvas.
Jesus.
Yeah, no Mothra larvas. Only adult Mothras are allowed in the rated M version of the movie. So some fun facts that I found while researching this film. It's actually an adaptation of a novel
Oh, really?
of the Luminous Fairies and Mothra.
I'm starting to think Ishiro Honda just starts reading books and he's like, let's make a movie. And then they do. Because it's Ishiro Honda and they're like, he can't fail.
Is it a manga too? Or
This
just-
one isn't.
So they actually made mangas.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. This is an adaptation of a novel, Luminous Fairies and Mothra, which was published earlier 1961.
Oh, wow. So he like really got the jump on that one.
So about that.
Oh. Oh, no.
So when I say it was based on a novel, what I really mean is that they made the novel as a tie-in to this, but the novel came first. So technically, it's based on the novel.
I see. Okay.
Toho, for some reason, I don't know why they wouldn't just jump straight to the screenplay. They hired like 3 writers to write an original story and publish it as a novel, which the film would then be based on.
That's stupid.
Why?
It seems a little weird. I mean, either way, it worked out because this was a critical and financial success.
Yeah, because they got a little bit of an audience with that book for like the 2
even-
months before it.
Even in the U.S., it was a huge success.
It seemed like it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of it. Heard of Mothra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of
When I was
Mothra and
younger.
Godzilla. Anybody else? No.
Yeah, I mean, as you pointed out, it was such a success. It's one of the most iconic kaijus.
The second most iconic,
Yeah,
actually.
second only to Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. Just because they made so many damn Godzilla movies. Not that many Mothras, but like,
Oh,
weren't here
she's had her fair share of movies.
yeah, no, but I mean,
she has her
comparative,
own spin-off trilogy, and
Oh,
she's
yeah.
been in, I believe,
plenty of other
7
combo-
Godzilla films.
yeah, Avengers, Godzilla films where like, destroy all monsters.
And it's a
or
she
whatever.
monster.
And it is a she.
It is a she, yeah.
However, there are plenty of times when it's inferred that Godzilla is also a she. For the most part.
officially on Wikipedia, they call it it.
Yeah, I mean, officially, there's
It's
so
an
many
it.
films that flip-flops depending on...
Well,
I mean,
there.
there's
yeah,
a
because
movie
there's
called
no-
Son of Godzilla, where Godzilla lays an egg.
So it's clearly a dude. Kind of like
Yeah.
how Cosmo has poof instead of Wanda,
well, I mean, there is multiple Godzillas all over the place
There are.
in the ground. So you
Oh, wait,
never
yeah,
know.
There
true.
are.
So there's just a bunch of them. So they'd be
Yeah,
like,
not all in the same continuity. So I guess some could be guys, some could be girls, some could just be its,
mm-hmm.
some could just be Godzillas. No
No
indication.
pronouns. They just
Yeah.
are
They're just born.
Godzilla, past, present, future
Yeah.
tense Godzilla.
Most interesting thing I found on Mothra was that it actually, technically, the ending we had, the ending we had. It had an alternate ending that they wanted to film and did film during principal photography.
And the studio demanded a reshoot, and that's how we got the shit version we saw, right?
No,
Damn.
the version we got was in the script originally.
Oh, cool. So why'd they shoot the alternate ending?
Because by the time they got to that, they realized they didn't have the time or the budget, so they revised it before they really shot most things.
Oh,
They wrote the ending we saw, but revised it almost immediately to fit the time and budget. However, Toho had a contract with Columbia Pictures, who distributed it here in the U.S.
Mhm.
So because of that, they couldn't just change the ending, so they needed approval from Columbia Pictures. So while they waited for the approval, Toho just told them to shoot the alternate ending anyway.
Mhm.
The alternate ending entailed the villain kidnaps the boy instead of just ties him up,
Mhm.
kidnaps him and escapes on a private jet. The jet crashes into a mountain. Rest in peace.
So the boy dies.
No. Neither of them die. The
Oh.
plane just crashes, as all crashes happen.
So it doesn't like face plant into the side of a mountain. It just kind of.
It's unspecified. I mean, I
just
don't
kind
know.
of like whoops, runs between 2 mountains and like clips the wings, and then just kind of like
Skids.
just skids
Yeah.
to a halt at like a plateau or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
as
Yeah,
all-
it's very realistic.
As all crashes happen, obviously.
Mhm.
The main characters and the police chase after them to rescue the boy. And this is all instead of Mothra destroying New Kirk City. So the chain of events would be Mothra cocoons herself.
Mm-hmm.
The villain kidnaps the boy, and they attempt to flee in the jet and are stranded on the mountain. Then the police and the main characters show up. Mothra breaks out as an adult and flies to the mountain to kill the villain and rescue the fairies and the boy, and then flies home. The end. That was the alternate ending that they did film. However, as soon as they finished filming, apparently, Columbia Pictures got back and said, no, we want the original ending. So they had to film 2 endings. Basically, they had to reshoot, despite the budget and time constraints, and they had to shoot the ending that we did get.
I feel like they gave a big middle finger to Columbia after that. They were like, you can pay us back for this ending. Did that ending ever get used anywhere or no?
Nope.
Interesting. So they were just like, burn the footage.
Basically, while most of it was filmed, there's very little documentation of any of it, really. There are only some photos of the car chase, but there are no photos or even storyboards of any of the plane crash scenes or anything like that.
Oh, GG.
They did film the rescue, though, because in my personal favorite trivia note is that, as I mentioned, Mothra kills the villain, and she does that by blowing him off the mountain, which they filmed because it says here that Ishiro Honda explained in an interview that they used a life-size dummy for that. However, when they packed up, the crew did not bother to retrieve the dummy off the mountain. So a few days later, hikers spotted it and assumed that someone committed suicide. So they called the police, and the police organized a rescue party and scaled down the mountain. I'm assuming this is a big ass mountain because it sounded like, to retrieve the dummy.
The dummy, yeah.
And it sounds like Honda got scolded very heavily for that.
Sure. I was just, it's just
That's
a prank.
funny as hell. You know what? Hold on, I got a little story. You're gonna like this. So, I have this family friend who this is a long time ago. This is like the 70s, okay, or like the late 70s. In
you had a friend in the 70s.
It's a family friend.
You're a time traveler.
So this is the 70s, right? He was like our age. So he and a bunch of friends
now or in the 70s.
I hate you. They were filming a like a little student film on like Super 8 millimeter, and so they're filming this thing, and it's like a cop movie, right? And they decide that they're gonna have this big shootout scene. So they again, this is the 70s over in like, Millbrae, right? Like the other side of the bay. So they get their happy asses up at like 5 a.m, and they get on this overpass that's like got no traffic at that time, right? And they do this shootout. So they've got like their like I don't know if they were real or prop guns, but they put like little firecrackers in them and have them go off for like shots. So they're doing this thing, and then they I guess they like squibbed one of their buddies' like foreheads for like a headshot, right? So they make this big old like dramatic like death for one of the characters, right? And like boom goes the head, right? And then he like pops a blood capsule and spews it out, right? And then they're like, so they have him like lean back and stuff, like after he gets shot. And then they were like, okay, so we're gonna have this character fall off the overpass. So they get a dummy and chuck this off the overpass. Well, a good like 5 minutes later, a cop pulls up and is like, "Hey, so I got reports of a jumper." They're like, "Yeah, no, it's not a jumper. It's a dummy." And they're like, "Yeah, okay. You guys are done." So they wrapped production, never finished it, but they also never went back for the bodies. So it's just sitting under an overpass somewhere in Millbrae, like it's full costume and everything.
What were the reports? Yeah, one guy keeps jumping off the bridge. I don't know, he just can't finish the job or something. Or was it? Hey, there's
no. It was a one-time shot.
Okay.
No. They actually threw the dummy.
No, yeah, I got that.
No strings or anything.
I got that. You made it sound like that they did it repeatedly.
No.
Thus the reports were either A, there's one guy who keeps jumping off repeatedly, or B, there's like 12 guys who are jumping off the bridge.
They're all lined up.
You get like five reports in like 20 minutes. They're like, hey, I just saw somebody jump off the bridge. It happened like 10 seconds ago. They're like, what the hell? Could you imagine like the one car that's like, en route, like every time on the radio, they just, be advised, there's another jumper off of the bridge, right? 10 minutes later, be advised, another jumper. They're like, the fuck? No. It was a one-time deal, but that's really funny. That's like the second time I've heard of that happening. I thought it was just them, but I guess even the great Ishiro Honda neglected to go get a dummy and got the authorities involved with it.
Yes.
I want to do that someday.
Yes.
Anyways.
So Mothra versus Godzilla.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, what was your score of Mothra?
I told you I gave it an M rating.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then you went
Mothras
into
only.
the fun facts. That's right.
So Mothra vs. Godzilla. This one came out in 1964. 3 years later.
Also Ishiro Honda.
The music once again is by Akira.
Most of the cast returned. I guess not as the same character though, so they broke like every single MCU rule ever.
That's because this isn't the MCU.
The Monster Cinematic Universe. I think it is.
This was before the conceptualization of cinematic universes.
I mean,
this is these are more like episodes or like James Bond movies. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, true. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea actually, because James Bond kind of takes continuity and just shoves it up your ass. Like they straight like have characters cross over. Like Bond himself will change actors, but other characters won't. And then they're like, oh, well, just same guy, I guess. We'll never mention the other adventures he had, but like, and then he's always like a certain age the whole time, right? Like Connery was like 30 or something when he did the first one. And then like, 40 years later, Pierce Brosnan is like about that age, maybe 10 years older, but it's been 40 years, So I like that. So these are basically the Bond films.
Basically. But instead of a British guy shooting a gun, it's a Japanese guy in a rubber suit.
Yeah, even better though, my dude.
So yeah, the
and
general
they have wacky villains like
general plot
Mothra.
recap of Mothra vs. Godzilla. It's even simpler than Mothra, which is that a Mothra egg. They spare the plot the time of having to go to the island because the egg just shows up in Japan, and then Japan's like, we're not going to give it back, yeah. And then the fairies are like, give us back the egg or Mothra's going to kill you all, yeah. And Japan's like, no. And then the fairy's like, okay, peace. And then Godzilla shows up. And then Japan's like, wait. That's basically Mothra vs. Godzilla in a nutshell. Very simple setup, but it gets to the point. Like the pacing is very nice.
And again, Godzilla's the bad guy because they're rooting for Mothra to win. And
it's odd because
Mothra dies. Right?
Kind of.
Yeah, Mothra dies.
The adult Mothra dies.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. So Mothra dies, and she has two little Mothra Junior twins.
Yeah, two Mothra larvae.
Mm-hmm.
This one's I don't know if I could even call Godzilla a villain because in this one, obviously he is an antagonistic force, but he's more of just a wild animal.
Yeah, but because it's from Japan's perspective.
No, I'm saying like compared to the other films where he's set up as the bad guy.
Oh yeah, no, in this one he's more of just a wild card, but
yeah,
still,
this one is just Godzilla's here. Uh-oh.
He's like that kid that just kind of shows up and hangs out with you guys, even though you don't want him to, and you're like, hey, somebody tell him we don't want him here, but then nobody does.
Because if you do, he'll kill you and then destroy your city.
Exactly,
Kick
yeah.
rocks on
so, you don't, and you're just like, all right, I guess he's last on the kickball line, but whatever, so.
So yeah, what'd you guys think of Mothra versus Godzilla?
I have a question. Like, why couldn't Mothra just take back the egg herself? Instead of asking for help.
Because then we wouldn't have a fight.
Just pick it up and take it back.
I don't know. I don't know if Mothra could pick up an egg. Have you seen Mothra's feet? Those things aren't really built for grabbing.
It grabbed Godzilla's tail and dragged him all the way.
This is true. She did grab his tail, but his tail's like a pencil compared to her egg.
Isn't the egg like as big as her?
Bigger. I mean, like
How the
mass.
Fuck? did she get that thing out?
That's a good question.
Maybe it was tiny.
She like tripled in size.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's what it was. They said that the egg like finished growing. So yeah, the eggs grew.
Okay, I could give them some passes for like going science fiction on like we can create monsters from nuclear radiation and we can just pretend that they existed millions of years ago, but eggs don't grow like that.
Eggs also don't grow.
Yeah, they just that
I'm saying if you're
you
not
have
gonna,
it, and
I'm saying
it's
if you're not gonna draw the line in the sand at there are no such things as eggs the size of 5-story buildings that hatch into giant worm larvae, like what's really where are you getting hung up at? You know, just accept that it started as an egg that grew.
That's what I'm upset about. Eggs don't grow. Now, if it was like
and Godzilla
in some sort of an embryo,
doesn't sleep in the ground. I fail to see your logic of reasoning here.
Yeah, true. Eggs don't grow. But I remember less of this movie just because it was like, I thought compared to Mothra, it was kind of little subpar, except for the fact that like Godzilla showed up again. But otherwise, like the suit for Godzilla looked better than it did last time because he looked like a dipshit last time. His eyes are all crossed the opposite direction and everything, and like he looked like a paper mache face. Like it wasn't pretty, but this one he was a little better. He looked like angry. Like they gave him eyebrows.
I thought his suit was very rubbery though. He was very like
they're all rubbery.
And,
oh yeah, no, they're all
like,
rubbery.
In the older ones, it was more like stiff.
What older ones? Like the 50s? Because I liked those.
Like the previous, I guess, comparing even to like the first.
King Kong?
Godzilla's like suit.
The suit, I have to say, this one looks a lot better than King Kong vs. Godzilla.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
okay.
Compared to Gojira, like no, Gojira I liked, but
that one was very intentional.
Yeah, exactly.
In regards to needing them to be a lot more
flexible.
Yeah, flexible, athletic, or acrobatic, I guess. Just because now you got it.
Athletic.
Yeah,
he wasn't doing cartwheels.
I mean, either way, they need the guys to have full range of movability. So with that said, the suit definitely looks a lot more natural in this one compared to the last one. In which it was very obvious a suit of rubber.
It was like they went to like the spirit store because they were like, we don't have any more of a budget. We need to put Godzilla in this movie. And they go to a spirit store, get a Godzilla outfit. They're like, yep, deluxe version, $80.
Yeah,
done.
this one, it was believable.
Yeah, I liked it. There was some cool fire thing, like when they, there were some things where like, he'd blow his radiation breath, Godzilla, and then things would like actually kind of catch fire like real time. I like that as opposed to like
the pyrotechnics earlier ones improved greatly.
Yeah, as opposed to like earlier ones where like he would. Which one am I thinking of? Because there was one where I think I'm thinking of King Kong versus Godzilla where like he blows on the tanks and they start to melt. That was cool. Yeah, but like other times and like all the ones before that where he showed up, like we'll see a shot at like a close up of him, blowing his little radiation breath, and then like cut to whatever's supposed to light on fire, and then it just kind of is on fire. Yeah. So it's like to see it kind of happen like real time, like spread and stuff. That was kind of cool. So I like the special effects, practical effects got a little. They got better. They improved.
Specifically the pyrotechnics.
Yeah. But also, the costume I liked. Again, the compositing for the twins, that was good.
Yeah, the compositing got even better.
Mm-hmm.
They upgraded in clothing.
Yeah, they got a wardrobe upgrade.
Yeah.
If I were to take my best guess, I'd probably say the compositing for them specifically looked better. My best guess is that they just built a set that was a lot bigger than them because it didn't look like they composited anything. It just looked like they were in a bigger set.
There were some times where like they definitely had to composite them. Like there was one shot I can remember clearly where the three main characters, like the two reporters, and then I forget who the third one was, but
another reporter. Another reporter.
Oh, they were all three? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Anyway, so all three reporters were like on the island when like the egg was hatching. And the twins are doing their little like Mothra, like catchy bullshit song.
Please continue.
No, they're doing their catchy bullshit song and
that segment just for this podcast.
And they're standing like the blocking was like the twins were standing in like compared to the camera, they're standing in front of this like big rock that then all the reporters are behind, and like it was a dark rock, so like admittedly the matte line is not very
Visible.
visible. Yeah, I mean, because it's just kind of like a black rock, so like you can barely, distinguish when it like actually is graphed. I mean, I could tell because I'm looking for it, but otherwise, like it was pretty good. And obviously, they were shot at a different distance, so then they did some like Hobbit trickery basically, but not like with massive, weirdly shaped sets. It was all just cutting film and layering it. But I mean, it looked really good, obviously. So kudos to them for that. But yeah, most of the time I could tell it was just like they just built a massive set, kind of like what Spielberg did with Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell for Hook, where she'd just be in like this huge set, and then they just like put Robin Williams hella close to the camera, so then like Julia Roberts in this massive set looks like.
What are you talking about?
Have you ever seen Hook?
Of course, I've seen Hook.
Yeah, no.
What are you talking about?
They built a ton of massive sets for Julia Roberts, who played Tinkerbell.
What are you talking about? That is a real fairy.
I hate you so much.
He didn't build anything. Come on.
I hate you so much.
Don't you know Spielberg? Spielberg don't cheap out like that. Come on. He went to Infant Island. He kidnapped one of those fairy girls.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, just like they did in Mothra.
Just like they did in Mothra. See, Spielberg was smart. He realized that Mothra was a true story.
Mm-hmm.
So he sought out.
He held one of the twins captive so that the other one would do the film. And then once she was done, then he released the other.
Yeah, he was smarter. He was smarter than obviously these characters were. He didn't kidnap both of them. He left one for Mothra. He only needed one of them for Hook.
How many men does it take to deliver a message? One. Kill the other one.
What did you think of Mothra versus Godzilla? You got any other?
No.
Sorry.
I mean, it was just like another Godzilla versus whoever movie.
Yeah. A lot of these, there isn't going to be much to say about a lot of these going forward. Because
I was gonna be like, are we gonna have a lot of these? Like, is it like the WWE, but like Godzilla? Like just now he goes against this guy. Now he goes against McGregor. Now he goes against The Rock. Now he goes against A-Rock. Now he goes against himself.
That's basically the whole franchise in a nutshell. At the very least, the Showa era films. It's very much. Actually, I can't even.
Now he goes against Sub-Zero. Like,
It's very bizarre because in essence, this is pretty much going to be the rest of the franchise, just Godzilla versus blank. However, the way that the three eras of films handles it is weird.
I mean, this one he just like popped out of the ground. Like
this definitely has the single most bizarre entrance for Godzilla himself. I couldn't even find in my notes.
How did he wake up? He just woke up.
I had always assumed it was like a deleted scene or like a you kind of like how in King Kong versus Godzilla, like it wasn't supposed to be Godzilla, it's supposed to be Frankenstein. I had always assumed it was something like that. I couldn't even find any indication that was the case. They just had him pop out of the ground, I guess.
They were just like, we need him to make an entrance. Yeah. What is he not done yet? Pop out of the ground.
I guess.
I'm hoping to God that one of these versus movies, they're gonna be like, we got a giant monster hanging out in Japan. We kind of want to get rid of it, and then like Godzilla like comes out of the sky and just lands. It
just descends from the heavens.
It just falls and then like lands on a building. And then they're like, fuck, never mind. We want this monster to kick out Godzilla instead.
Speaking of building, make sure it's that one castle.
That one that just always gets destroyed.
That one always.
He lands perfectly like straddling a city block, so his legs are like in the streets. Nothing is damaged, but his tail comes down on that building.
There's this. I will say that this is the first film, at least, to really get the versus action right.
Yeah, they did a good job.
I mean, compared to Godzilla Red Again or King Kong versus Godzilla, this is the only one that feels like it's two monsters fighting.
Oh yeah, instead of just like a brawl, like wrestling.
Yeah,
match.
Instead of a wrestling match, or instead of two toys being attacked.
King Kong versus Godzilla was hilarious. I loved those fight scenes. Like,
this
like that one where Godzilla like gets up on like he like jumps off of his 2 feet and like what's that move called? I forget what it's called, but where like you basically go horizontal and like kick out, kind of like Thor did in Thor. But like he like, where you like jump up off the ground and then kick out.
Yeah, where Godzilla like jump kicked.
Yeah, but it was like very clearly claymation. It was like a real fast like "Hoo-pa!" And it was like no, he's not Bruce Lee. He's Godzilla.
Yeah.
And then King Kong tumbles back and like rolls back and then hits his head. And he's like ah,
And then he's done.
And
I'm like, I love this.
And then he's dead.
It's
And then that's how he killed King Kong.
and then and then Godzilla starts beating him with his tail, and then he's like, "Oh, psych!" And because he still won.
And then he uber killed him. At that point, it was just humiliation. King Kong had already died.
Oh yeah, then he came back because lightning.
No, he just died. That was the end of the movie.
You must have fell asleep that time, Cody.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean the last note I have for this one, at least for the viewing notes, is just the cinematography was
that was also
probably the best one so far.
Out of all the films?
Probably. I'd say so. Second,
yeah, okay,
at least second only to the original Gojira. This one probably had the best cinematography of all the films we've watched so far.
I'd probably agree, actually. I would say I might tie them. Gojira and this one, I might tie them just because they were going for different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd agree. Okay. We both turn at the same time. Well,
I think that about wraps it up for Mothra versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
Any fun facts about it?
There are.
He's like, there's nothing fun about this film.
There. I do have a couple. Not really a whole lot. Like I say, this is like this is just another Godzilla versus movie in the sense that there aren't too many wacky fun facts. This was a huge smash hit financially and critically. This is regarded as one of the best Godzilla films ever made.
I can see why. Shirahama did a muy bueno job.
He did.
Muy buen trabajo.
The only fun fact I have is that the U.S. version marketed this film as Godzilla versus the Thing, and
that's confusing.
Well, it gets even more confusing in just a second. In every single promotional media, they intentionally kept Mothra out of it to try and build the suspense of who he's fighting.
Sounds stupid.
And then in the dub itself, they don't even refer to Mothra as Mothra. They only refer to it as the Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, when they released it in the US on DVD, they changed the title back to Mothra versus Godzilla, but did not change the dub. So that very much confused people.
Yeah, America's stupid.
Confused them so much that in a future film that we'll get to, they changed the title and even included a stupid subtitle just to avoid future confusion.
Okay.
Mothra versus Godzilla: The Return of the Thing. Like
something like that.
God damn.
The only other fun fact I got, I mean that that's basically it for the fun facts. The only other thing I got is I have the budget and the box office. But
the budget was like 200 million yen.
200 million yen, which roughly is about $1.8 million US.
And then the box office was like 2.6 billion yen.
Yes.
This was essentially,
which was roughly $24 million.
This was essentially like an Infinity War scale, like
however, I don't
budget
know
to box office ratio.
I don't know what those box office number breakdowns are. I don't know if that's grand total worldwide or if that's only Japan.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, either way, like it's basically like if it's just Japan, that's even more so like.
Oh yeah,
like an Infinity.
I'm just saying I don't know how that breaks down. Like it's impressive, yes.
Oh yeah. No, I mean yeah. So no matter what,
comparatively
it's
speaking to the other numbers I've been pulling, I can't. I would highly doubt that 2.6 billion yen is just from Japan. That's got to be worldwide lifetime.
Probably.
Maybe not lifetime. That's got to be worldwide, like US included, because this was also, it said this was also financially successful in the US, but I have absolutely no data on the US box office.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
It's got to be 2.6 billion, $24 million.
Are you on the Wikipedia page?
No.
Are you on the IMDb page?
No,
What are you on?
my notes.
Where'd you find it though? What are your sources?
A couple different things. I got IMDb, Wikipedia, and Wikizilla.
Oh, those
Okay.
are our sponsors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd like to take this minute to introduce our sponsors for the episode. This episode is brought to you by Wikipedia, the most trusted source on the fucking internet. Also, IMDb, they're okay. And Wikizilla, they're the true heroes here. It's like Wikipedia, but with Zilla at the end.
We're gonna get sued so hard.
I have not said any defamatory statements about any of these. Quite the contrary. I've said these are the best sources on the internet. I've even said Wikipedia is the most trusted source on the internet. I don't know. That's so far opposite of slander. I don't even know.
As JJ Jameson would say, I resent that. Slander is spoken. In print, it's libel. So,
That's copyright.
what?
Oh,
Your scores?
Oh, yeah. Let's score these films.
Well, for the second one anyway. Mine is still the same, 7 out of 10.
I might go as far as to give this one an 8. An extra point just for Godzilla.
Just for Godzilla.
Just for Godzilla.
Just for Godzilla.
Not
just
for
for-
a twin. Another Mothra twin.
No, I didn't care for those twins. The other twins, what do they call them? The fairy twins?
Oh, the babes.
Yeah, the
island
babes.
babes.
The island
Babes.
babes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give them. They basically make up half of my points. Just so like
They
4
make up
of those.
4 of your 8 points.
Yeah, 4 of those 8 points are just for the babes. 2 points because they're twins. 2 points because they're both pretty attractive.
So your score is 4 out of 10.
No, my score is 8 out of 10. Dipshit! I said they
But-
were half.
Yeah, but the actual film only merited a 4 out of 10.
No, what?
That's your logic.
No.
4 out of those 10 is just because you thought 2 girls were pretty.
Yeah,
That
that
has nothing to do
adds
with
to
the
the total,
That
and
has
1
nothing to do
point
with the
goes to
plot of the
Godzilla,
film.
and 1 point goes to Godzilla. So like, yeah, 1 point for special effects, and then 2 points for like all the Mothra stuff. So, yo. Oh, 1 point for the Mothra
Interesting
stuff, 1 point
breakdown
for all
of
the
his
costumes and
10-point breakdown schematic. Are you gonna keep? Is that consistent with your other scores?
What do you mean?
Like
Oh, like the last
that,
one?
That breakdown is that your consistent scoring? Like 1 point if Godzilla's in it, 1 point for the special effects.
No.
1
They're
point.
usually generalized. I'm saying as opposed to like the last one, I'm giving them an extra point because Godzilla's in this one. But
Well,
so as far as Mothra goes, yeah,
that's-
these two are pretty much the
that-
same. It's
that-
just
that sure
because
is-
they said versus Godzilla, there's an extra point.
That sure is confusing. You gotta stay consistent.
I am consistent.
But you just say you're not consistent.
I am consistent.
But you just said that this isn't the same grading scale as your other ones.
No, I said the general. You said as far as the
Yeah,
No,
it's-
so as far as the last one goes, Mothra. Yeah, because none of the other films had the twins. So yo.
Yeah, I'm saying.
So what, you think it should be like 12 out of 10?
No, I'm saying if in this film you break down that 8 out of 10 because 1 point is just for Godzilla, thus you start at 0 out of 10 and you go, okay, Godzilla's in it, that's 1 out of 10. Special effects are in it, that's 2 out of 10.
So you
The
think,
babes
like-
are in it, that's 6 out of 10. I'm saying if that's how you score this one, I think you should go back and redo your scores on the other ones. Gotta stay consistent.
Take off
Got-
4
gotta-
for not having the twins. Just everything's at. What about
take off 1 for you gotta take off 1
So that means
for the past
Godzilla.
6 films for not having Godzilla in it.
Godzilla Raids Again is a -2 out of 10 because it had a 2, but I guess it didn't have the twins, so -2 now.
There you go. Yeah,
hate you.
let's for the record, let's get an official restatement of all your scorings. Let's start with Gojira. What's your rescore?
My rescore?
Your rescore? What was your original score?
My original score was 13 out of 10, which means it's
Awesome.
9 out of 10.
Awesome. So let's break it down. So starting at 0 out of 10. So it had Godzilla in it, so that's 1 out of 10, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Special effects,
Yes,
that's 2 out of 10. It had no babes. So
But that's okay.
we're still at 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
What was your other scoring criteria for this one?
Uh,
You were at an 8, but by my calculations, you're at.
soundtrack, suspense.
Well, hold on. That's an error in mathematics right there.
What?
You just listed more than 2 things. You only got 2 more points to total 8 out of 10. That you said the babes counted as 4. That
Yeah.
leaves you with 4 spare points. One of those is Godzilla. One of those is special effects. You only got 2 criteria left. The math here, it doesn't add up.
I hate you so much.
What
All right.
where did those 2 points come from?
So
All right, so Gojira is now a 2 out of 10 for
Mothra
me.
is a 7 out of 10.
How'd you get to that number?
Mothra is a 7 out of 10.
Does Mothra count as a babe?
Yes. She'd be a MILF there by the end of
by that logic,
Godzilla.
Mothra Godzilla should be 10 out of 10 because there's 3 Mothras.
I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Fuck it.
Your logic makes no sense. It's completely inconsistent.
10 out of 10. I'm just kidding. 8 out of 10.
All right, so that's a.
So it's an 8 out of 10 for me, Kay.
I said 7 out of 10. Same as
same
before.
as Mothra. You're just like, I'm just gonna give the same one to everything.
No,
5 out of 10. Not great, but not horrible.
I switched my scores around. I did a 5. I did a 2 out of 10 before.
That
was
one
for
that?
that was like, was it Ron or something?
Oh, Varen.
Yeah.
Varen.
The unbelievable.
Very unbelievable.
Yes, it was.
Your score, Cody?
Oh,
I'm sorry. I just realized Varen the Unbelievable was the shitty TV one. I said earlier Varen was the one that like took place in the 80s. My bad.
They're the
that
same.
was Gorath. Gorath is the planet one.
I'm pretty sure they.
No, Varen was not. That was present day.
Oh,
But
okay.
Gorath was the one that definitely said it's the 80s now.
Yeah, that one was definitely the 80s.
Yeah, my bad. I mixed up the movies. Sorry, correction. I apologize. Varen,
Yeah.
you weren't that good. I apologize, Gorath.
So
you weren't that bad.
that's gonna wrap it up for this episode.
What's your score?
What?
What's your score?
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. My score of Mothra versus Godzilla is the same as the American poster, a giant question mark. So that'll be it for this
Are you
episode.
kidding me? What? It has a giant question mark?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let me see. What the hell?
The U.S.
Is it like
poster.
Godzilla punching a question mark?
Yes.
What?
Again, they in
No, yeah, I
every
know.
single piece of promotional media.
Is it like that Pokemon thing? Guess that Pokemon. No, the shape of the shape
No,
of
it's a
Mothra.
literal
Like
question
very
mark.
clearly, that's Mewtwo.
That's Mothra.
Oh, okay, come on now. All right, well, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up after. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode of the legit day job podcast.
We now have a Facebook.
We have a Facebook.
Oh yeah, let's promote ourselves a little bit gratuitously. So what's our Facebook? Is it just legit day job?
Page. Add
Legit-
page at the end.
Oh, legit day job page.
Yes.
Why? Wait, what? Never mind. I don't want to.
I am your host.
I don't have a Facebook. Yeah, so go check
don't
us out
have
on
a
Facebook.
Facebook?
No, I don't have a Facebook. I do via this job, but not my personal one. So anyway, yeah, go check out our Facebook, legit day job page, I guess.
Yes.
And
Tomorrow we check out
yeah, what are we doing tomorrow?
Ghidra, the 3-headed dragon,
What the fuck?
and Dagora.
God damn.